be doing today is producing a non-metal carbonate, and we're going to produce it using some copper carbonate. So copper carbonate is this bright green colour. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to use the copper carbonate to produce some carbon dioxide. So carbon is the non-metal and it's an oxide as it's carbon dioxide. I'm going to put some of the copper carbonate into here. Okay, so we have our copper carbonate at the bottom of this boiling tube, but really we don't care about the copper carbonate. What we want is the carbon dioxide. That's our non-metal oxide. And it's going to obviously form as a gas, and it's going to come up through this delivery tube and into this boiling tube here. Now this boiling tube here has got water in, and it's also got some universal indicator. Universal indicator is green in water because it has pH 7, and if we look at the pH scale on the back, you can see that hopefully if it's either an acid or an alkali that we've formed, there's going to be a colour change of some kind. So if our carbon dioxide is an alkali, we're going to see a change from green to either blue or purple, whereas if it's an acid, we're going to see it change to a lighter green, a yellow, orange or red, depending on the strength. Now I'm going to use the Bunsen burner on the hot flame, and I'm going to use the top of the blue cone to heat my copper carbonate and form carbon dioxide. So you can see the compound is breaking down really quickly, and you can see that there's some gas forming, and it will start to bubble out here in a minute. You can actually also see that the copper carbonate has turned black, and that's because it's broken down into a different compound, copper oxide, which is black. So you can see the carbon dioxide bubbling through here now, and you can see it's already starting to change colour, hopefully.
It's now green.
Can you see at the bottom it's still green, but it's gone yellow at this bit here. So we'll keep sending as much through as we can. Oops. And now it's turned back to green because I've sent too much through. I heated up too much, and you can see the actual copper oxide has gone up through the tube, and now it's gone back to yellow because I've taken the heat away. So you can see this colour here is about, roughly, if you look, it's about pH 2 on the scale, pH scale. So that will tell you that it is an acid of about pH 2, which is a fairly strong acid. And actually, we know that carbon dioxide is what causes all rainwater to be slightly acidic because it dissolves in the rain. And so we've proved here that non-metals are all acidic. Okay, so we need to fill in our observations of what we saw happen, and really we're interested in what colour change happened. So we started with the green water, and then that turned a different colour when our carbon dioxide went into it. So I want you to record what colour. I also want you to have a go at doing why did that colour change happen? What caused the colour change? Now you also need to draw a diagram, which I'll show you in a minute, and you also need to do a conclusion. There is an extension for you to have a go at if you want to, but you don't need to do that. Okay, so this is the diagram for this experiment. It's quite a difficult one to draw. The important things to note are the delivery tube, which is the thin tube leading from one boiling tube to another, and also the bung, which we haven't seen as a piece of equipment before. That's what stops any gas escaping out of the rest of the boiling tube. It can only go through the delivery tube. Now I haven't labelled the stand, boss and clamp or the boiling tubes because we know the names of those, and I want to focus on these new things. I also want to note that it's bubbles of CO2 that come out. It's not copper carbonate that we're interested in. The copper carbonate is simply a source of the CO2. The CO2 is the non-metal oxide that we're interested in. So if you pause and draw your diagram, and then I'll show you what you should have written in the rest of your form. Okay, so hopefully you had a go at this yourself, but let's have a look now. So observations, the water with the universal indicator turned from green to yellow. So very simple, it's just the colour change that we want. And the explanation is, well, it turned yellow because the carbon dioxide was an acid. And therefore our conclusion, non-metal oxides are therefore acidic. I'm not going to go through the extension with you, but hopefully you have had a go at that. And in the next video, I'm going to go through this experiment here, and you can then fill out all the observations, the diagram, and have a go at the extension for this as well.